Hi, my name is Ariel from the Children of Karma, and today I'd like to discuss the discovery chart of Pluto. Pluto was discovered February 18th, 1930, at 4 p.m. in Flagstaff, Arizona. This gives it a Leo rising chart, another chart where we're bringing what's hidden into the light with the help of the sun. Pluto was discovered by Clyde Tombaugh and was demoted in 2006. Pluto in Cancer at 17 degrees, also retrograde. It's conjunct fixed star Wasat, the nature of Mercury. Mercury is also sitting on the descendant of this chart, so Mercury is an important planet here too. To build bridges or to destroy them is the nature of Wasat. It can bring violence, destruction, disaster. But to speak with clear authority, prominence in public affairs and management. We're painting a picture of Pluto. Pluto is relationship focused with this heavy seventh house here. Saturn opposes Pluto also in this chart. Saturn is involved in all the outer planet discoveries through aspect. In this chart, it's indicating the long-term effects of trauma, how it wears on the individual over time. Uranus squares Pluto, and the moon trines Pluto, tying Pluto to intuition. The moon is conjunct fixed star Zuben Elgenubi. This is associated with a Mars-Saturn nature. It brings violence, disease, obstacles, danger of poison, which sounds a lot like Pluto. The moon is conjunct asteroid Circe. Circe is known for using potions, also the ability to manipulate the environment in hypnotic ways. Her island, it smelled lovely. This feels comfortable. Maybe I should stay and forget about my responsibilities. It can call to themes of excess. Too much of a good thing can also be harmful. Places of stagnation also. And fear-based connections, as she was very powerful. Pluto conjuncts asteroid Priska, asteroid 997, for where we feel like second place, like a runner-up, where we're always accommodating someone else, where we play Robin to someone's Batman, where we need recognition. Pluto also conjuncts asteroid Thalia. Thalia is the muse of comedy, and she's one of the three graces who celebrated fertility, beauty, and joy. So Circe and Thalia here, Circe with the moon and Thalia with Pluto. It makes me feel like magic is in the laughter. To relax our threat centers through laughter. How our whole body vibrates with laughter. There's a warmth from within. It definitely impacts the vagus nerves also. And largely comedians use comedy to move through their painful past. The big alignment here in this chart starts with Mercury. Mercury is conjunct the descendant sign. It's also conjunct Mars here. The ruler, the dispositor, is Saturn, sitting in the sixth house of servitude and daily routine. Also calling to Priska, always accommodating to others at the detriment of your own shine. So serving others in the sixth house. Pluto in the 12th house in Leo ascendant. This shows that the detriment of your own shine, serving others, serving the needs of others. The sixth house is also associated with diet and health and self-improvement. Also Pluto in Cancer, the body. Improving how we communicate our desires and our anger and working on it daily with Saturn here. Impacting our health. The Mercury-Mars connection is aggressive, cutting, degrading language. Selfishness either towards us or from us towards the other. Learning to set boundaries with those who cannot be harmonized with. Can refer to sexually explicit language also, this Mercury-Mars. Romantic manipulation. Maybe feeling like you have to constantly serve the needs of the other, your partner perhaps, or even a family member, while your own needs are overlooked. Chiron is in Taurus, the wound of Venus, So harmonizing and relating to others is the wound here of Pluto. Maybe feeling obligated to sacrifice your needs for the sake of the union, perhaps even family ties, like a duty to the family. You have to sacrifice your own needs. Mercury conjunct Mars also squares the nodal axis. And the south node here is conjunct the moon in the 4th house in the sign of Scorpio. So attachments to the family, attachments to the past, to the home, to the body. Mercury also is looking for recognition as well from the other, as well as the sun sitting in the house of partnerships. Chiron is conjunct Kronos, the trans-Neptunian object here too, the super Saturn. And it's also with the North Node here. And it trines Saturn, so giving it more of this Saturn energy. Boundaries, limitations, delays in terms of our relationships. Depression, discipline. How we value ourselves and how it impacts our relationships. Kronos can show where we feel overpowered, controlled by others, a controlled appearance as well. In the 10th house, needing to be valued by others, by society, that our contributions are valuable. The moon in Scorpio conjunct the south node. Maybe that penetrating gaze of the Pluto is seen here, to see straight to your core. That moon south node also is opposing Chiron as well, so maybe to see directly into your wound. Perhaps the chart is asking us to release the past, old patterns, old behaviors that made you feel powerless, and incorporating this consistently with Saturn. This is also sextile Saturn, this moon. Stronger boundaries with manipulative behavior. Other people do not determine our worth, our value. They're not qualified to do so. Chiron conjunct Kronos in Taurus. It asks us to determine our own value, our own worth, our own contribution to society. It's all determined by our own actions. What we do consistently, how we choose to spend our time, how we impact others. To become emotionally sovereign, to recognize ourselves as worthy and enough. Even in terms of beauty, as this is ruled by Venus too. The Mars square Chiron, it can feel betrayed by relationships. Perhaps it is motivated with the square to heal perhaps for the sake of love. Mars is conjunct asteroid Eros, the god of love. But also atropos. So it could be endings of love and relationships. If we look at the current events at this time that Pluto was discovered, we see the violent themes of Pluto through events like the explosive that was found at the British Museum in February of 1930, the assassination attempts of Pascual Rubio, the president of Mexico, and the president of Brazil as well, the Yanbai mutiny in French Indochina. There was also an incident with Frank McAirlane. He was attacked while in a hospital, and where he also returned fire, and the attackers fled. That's very Pluto there. In the 12th house as well, President Horatio Vasquez, the president of the Dominican Republic, he fled as rebel forces toppled his government. The bodies of Carl Ben Eelson and mechanic Earl Borland were recovered from the site of a plane crash in Siberia. There are also some religious themes, cultural themes. The Archbishop of Canterbury attacked the Soviet Union for imprisoning priests, monks, and nuns. The Vatican at this time denied services like Holy Communion, baptism, and confirmation to women who were dressed immodestly, what they deemed to be inappropriate. The UK Parliament also debated abolishing blasphemy laws at this time. There were prayers for William Taft that were broadcast because he was soon to pass away and the power would be changing hands. This is also Pluto. In terms of taxation, The Prime Minister of France, André Tardieu, he resigned over this issue of taxation. He wanted to tax married women who were sharing businesses with their husbands. There was also US versus Versbach, receiving campaign dollars from US government employees. Substances show themselves through the Opium Commission of the League of Nations, as they adopted a resolution at this time to only produce enough opium that would be cultivated for medical purposes. The daughter of Mussolini, her name was Etta, she married Galeazzo Ciano, who voted against his father-in-law and was charged with treason. He was later eliminated. But his daughter, Mussolini's daughter, Etta, she escaped. She smuggled the wartime diaries of the Count. She had a friend, a lieutenant in the Italian Air Force. He helped her to sew this book into her clothing. He later became a famous fashion designer. His name is Emilio Pucci. Isn't that interesting? The aesthetics carrying hidden knowledge. As Spain restored censorship of the press, there was a ban on all public meetings and speeches. There was a theme of curses as well through Richard Luttrell Pilkington Bethel, the third Westbury. He died by his own hands. Some thought that this was due to a curse, the curse of Tutankhamun. This man's son, he worked as an Egyptologist. He participated in the excavation of Tutankhamun's tomb, and he also mysteriously died in his sleep just a few months prior to this. This is also Pluto in the 12th house in the sign of Cancer. And a little bit more about this. This says a lot, I think, about the root of where trauma comes from. Powerful feelings with Pluto in Cancer. Powerful emotions about the past, about the home, about family. The body even as the home, as the environment that we take everywhere with us. It's ruled by the moon, Cancer, the fastest mover in the sky. So these feelings can change quickly and move powerfully. But in the 12th house here, they cannot be accessed by the ascendant. In the 12th house, we have hidden enemies, externally, from others, or from within. The self-undoing, self-sabotage. There is this quote, if there is no enemy within, then the enemy outside can do you no harm. The level of nurturing in the sign of Cancer, emotional support, received or not received, tied to the cause of trauma. Emotional abscesses, breeding trauma, indicating that it's passed down through the family lineage, and largely unaware of how it impacts your present daily life in the 12th house. Cancer and the 12th house are both hermits, the tendency to isolate due to trauma. Chiron also sextiles Pluto here. Chiron's in an earth sign, Pluto in a water sign. Makes me think of gardening to bring those two elements together. Healing through creativity, laughter, loving relationships. And as these are both feminine elements, the beauty, art, the aesthetics, and setting proper boundaries with those who cannot be harmonized with, as the heavy Saturn influence here too. The body symptoms involved in trauma. Psychosomatic symptoms, it reminds me of psychosomatic symptoms where you can experience a trauma and then your body responds. Maybe you wake up without vision due to seeing a trauma. So the mind being very powerful and also working in the opposite direction in a way to heal, using the mind to heal these wounds. There's also sexual trauma, which is damaging to our agency. Debt collectors, being robbed of your basic needs. The quality of life greatly impacts mental health. It makes me think about cooking to heal in Cancer, food bringing people together, how they gather around a meal. And meals can incorporate different cultures as well. And it provides the physical comfort that our body needs. And Cancer, Chiron, both associated with flowers and mushrooms, using this to heal as well, herbs. Both of them symbolically tied to this Cancer and Chiron. Nutrition, GABA foods, foods that relax the nervous system, using food as a medicine. Also, the places where we rest in the 12th house, it makes me think of developing a peaceful space where we can rest, where we can display our boundaries. The sink and kitchens and bathrooms, places with running water, how water can heal. How washing your face can sometimes feel like a reset. And sometimes bathrooms and kitchens are sanctuaries, places where you can escape the drama of a particular place. You can just hide in the bathroom or in the kitchen sometimes. The 12th house is also charity, helping others who are struggling. It can help you to reshape your own perspective on your situation. You begin to see yourself as another person who is suffering. It's okay, I'm not alone now. And now what? How do I move with this pain the way that others have? And how can I incorporate this strength to keep moving? Cancer is also the gateway of the spirit, the soul, and turning it into matter. Birth, life, mothers, the trauma surrounding motherhood, postpartum depression. Parenting is difficult. We can also deal with losing children or not even being able to have them at all. There's also memory with Cancer, the loss of memory, feeling like the loss of self, the loss of identity as well. Or you can be attached to the memories that cause you pain, or the memory of someone who has passed away, maybe grieving memories that you will never have with that person. And it could be reframing your painful past into stories of strength, empowerment. We can remain in toxic situations because we understand how to operate under extreme conditions. But to remain stagnant, it can compound trauma. The 12th house is the loss of home or changing homes frequently, mental illness within the home. It's also tied to sleep. The body is healing as we're sleeping, but are there ways to heal the psyche while asleep? Sleep hypnosis can help with 12th house issues that we cannot see. Relief work is also tied here to the 12th house. It highlights the ability to absorb the suffering of others, especially with the water sign Cancer too. It's extremely difficult to set boundaries here. To know when to step back and to care for yourself. Otherwise, how can you help anyone? But being able to tell when that moment is approaching, that time to step back and reload, it's hard. You can feel intense guilt, especially with the moon trine Pluto here. It sees what others cannot see. And you can feel an incredible responsibility to protect others. It's hard to decide when you must be hands off. Because it's here that you allow others to have their agency as well, which is very important in terms of healing a wound. A person cannot heal without their consent. We cannot force them to heal. This chart was very interesting to take a look at, seeing the pain of Pluto and seeing how it wants to be worked with. It wants you to empower yourself and to move past these painful memories, to move beyond them and move more towards having agency. This Kronos here, it's powerful. It wants you to become powerful because of this wound. Like it wants you to use this wound to empower yourself. I find that interesting too. There's more there as well. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like the video. Bye.